Hi, it's Eric Daly of the Molten Lumber Group, and here's what you need to know if you're a retirement plan sponsor for the week ended Friday, March the 6th of 2026. It was just announced that Vanguard had agreed to pay $29.5 million agreed to make modifications to their proxy voting process relative a complaint that had been brought by the state of Texas against Vanguard and some other investment managers as to how they were voting individual stock proxies for the securities they own within their investment portfolios. I think there's a lot of confusion on this issue because proxies flows through a bunch of different areas. First and foremost, this isn't how proxies for mutual funds themselves are voted, meaning that if you own the S&P 500 fund, how that fund may have proxies that could be voted by your retirement committee or potentially the participants in your plan, depending on your structure. These are actually the proxies from the individual companies owned within that S&P 500 or other investment product that may be out there. The claim that was brought by the state of Texas in 2024 is that ultimately Vanguard and these other investment managers were not voting those proxies in the best interest of participants, but perhaps were doing so for other reasons. This issue relative ESG, environmental impact, has been one that has been highly politicized over the course of the last 10 years probably, and this certainly has been one of the topics. So Vanguard, while they have agreed to settle the case, is not the only defendant within the case. BlackRock certainly is a huge portion. They're actually the named defendant in the case, and we'll see how that plays out. But it is a continuation of this issue relative ESG and how individual securities are selected and what types of companies should be owned within retirement plans. As it pertains to your retirement plan committee, the changes that Vanguard are making may become more standard other places. Ultimately, Vanguard is going to be asking, in many situations, plan sponsors to make a determination not on how individual stock proxies are voted, but instead on what philosophy should be used in making those votes. And there will be differences between potentially plan sponsor X and plan sponsor Y, and that ultimately Vanguard will vote the proxies for the securities as is dictated by their individual agreements with plan sponsors. So an issue that had been really an investment manager issue likely will end up becoming a retirement plan sponsor issue. So making sure that you're aware of proxy voting policies and how they play out in reality for your plan, I think is going to be an area of tremendous focus in 2026, especially depending on what BlackRock elects to do relative to this same case.